So I've always had a really hard time explaining my career to people because even though I have a software engineering degree, I've had a lot of different jobs, and I think my journey makes no sense to people. So where did it start? Technically, I got my bachelor's degree in biology, and I went on and worked a lot of different jobs and gigs. And if you want to hear about that, about being a barista or in billing or marketing and then switching, let me know. But my first tech job was actually because I went back for my master's degree in software engineering, and first semester in, I was already looking for those like internships and co-ops because I knew that I really needed some actual professional experience in tech if I was going to transition. And I actually happened to see a flyer on campus one day for Cisco. And so I went to the career fair thing that they were having. They had a whole panel of people who worked at Cisco who were promoting whatever it is they were hiring for. And one of my really good friends from high school, believe it or not, was there that I hadn't talked to since. He told me about this network engineering support role that they have a co-op for. It's a 6-month co-op, and I believe they're still hiring for it. I really had zero idea what network engineering was because I barely knew anything about tech in general. I was really just, a fish to water, drinking from the fire hose. And this friend really vouched for me. Well, he vouched for Cisco first and was like, this is a great company and this is a great opportunity for you. So I took a leap of faith there and trusted him. And then he and other people who interviewed me along the way, took a chance on me as well. And my ability to problem solve and just, be smart and enthusiastic. And the role itself started in person. So I was a co-op first, and you spend some time in their labs recreating customer networks to solve issues. And that part was really, really scary for me, but really fun. I learned a lot during that time, and it's just fun to be hands-on, right? Like there's so many aspects of tech where you're just not hands-on. Later on, I really felt like it gave me an advantage even when I ended up spending the second half of the co-op on an actual TAC team or support team. I joined the firewall team because, I had just physically seen and done things that a lot of people hadn't, and it gave me some confidence and a well-rounded understanding, as much as I could for being very new. Obviously, as a co-op, I was not really leading the charge on a lot of cases, or at least nothing complex. And, they kind of train you up and help you build confidence and subject matter expertise. But then basically I asked my co-op program, I was like, hey, is there any way that I can be hired on full time? Because, I'm old for a co-op, and I'm ready to work full time. I'm ready to put in the work. Let's do it. And they liked my work, so they hired me full time. And I started in 2020 during the COVID era when everything locked down. I'm not gonna lie, that was really tough because in person, I really loved my team and we had so much fun. Like we would shoot each other with Nerf guns and everyone was there for each other to help with cases, blah, blah, blah. It was great. Remotely, it was not very fun. And I don't think a lot of people's jobs were fun during that time, but as a new support engineer in what I personally consider to be a high stress role, it was a lot. I was not really interested in staying in support because even though I like the problem solving, the stress for me was difficult. And some of the work style, but I will tell you that I learned so much during that time. First of all, I earned my CCNA, my Cisco Certified Network Associate during that time, which is the foundation of, everything in tech, really. Have an understanding of computers and then how computers talk. The list of things that I learned from that role, I could just go on and on about, from understanding those networking fundamentals to understanding software bugs and how to file bug reports to how to talk to a variety of people. I talked to people globally. I de-escalated so many situations. I improved documentation that people had written. I recreated customer issues in my own virtual labs to understand, to some extent, people working in their cloud environments. But perhaps more important than anything, especially for me as someone who came from, roles and degrees and whatever, where, we memorized things a lot and we didn't actually solve very many problems, is that I had to get really comfortable with not knowing things and going into a situation, applying the skills that I had, and gathering the resources and knowledge around me to try to solve a problem in what could be high pressure situations. And that wasn't just a matter of stringing together a bunch of facts, right? It was a matter of understanding how to implement a troubleshooting process and how to decide what to do next and how to decide when something is not the problem. And that might sound trivial, but I really do think that there is, a tier of expertise. There is understanding how to demonstrate a product down here at the bottom. There's actually using the product on a daily basis as a better way of understanding a product. And then there is understanding what to do when that product breaks. That is a whole nother level of understanding. As for why I didn't stay in networking after that role, to be honest, it was just kind of circumstance. I mean, it was circumstantial that I ended up in a networking role, given I was studying for a degree in software engineering. And I was still getting my degree when I left that role. I just knew that support in particular was not for me. But the next thing that I was able to get during that time was a sales engineering role, and it was for the Cisco security portfolio. So, I still had to use some of my networking knowledge, but it was also just different. Really, the main thing that I would like people to take away from my journey and, how I started in support and networking is that I just think it provided an incredible foundation and well-rounded understanding of technology for me. I do not think I would be the engineer today if I didn't have it. And also that, where you end up in tech is just a lot of times a matter of luck and circumstance, and yes, interest, yes, things that you're going for. But, in my case, I've jumped around to so many different things. If you have questions, let me know.